Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video I wanted to start incorporating the skincare aspect of my vlog. So I'm starting off with a video that's going to just kind of go through my history with acne, what I've used and what I've tried to try to combat my acne, and hopefully you guys can find it relatable. Just to clarify, I am not a licensed esthetician and I'm not a dermatologist, so everything I state and recommend in this video is just based off of my opinion and my experience. I also do a lot of my own research when it comes to skincare, so I always encourage you to do the same. Everyone does have a different skin type and everyone's skin reacts differently to different products. So it's really important to know your own skin type and take that into consideration when looking into trying something new to help your skin. So to get started, I am going to just talk about my history with acne starting from high school, and I have a little note here just to keep me on track, so if I'm looking down, that is why. In high school I played soccer and I did ballet, and that caused quite a bit of breakouts along my hairline and my T-zone. And so I just went to the drugstore to kind of find products that would just help with, minimal acne. And I was looking for products with benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, and I picked up some face washes and didn't really find that they helped much at all. And I'm just gonna differ into a tangent here. Later in life, I was doing some research into beauty products and the different ingredients in beauty products. And one ingredient that is in a lot of drugstore face washes is an ingredient called sodium lauryl sulfate, and it's basically just a detergent. So there's a scale 0 to 5 how pore clogging is an ingredient, and sodium lauryl sulfate is a 5. So even coconut oil I think is a 4 or 5. So those are products that if you have reactive skin, I would recommend staying away from. They don't allow your pores to breathe, and they can cause acne and blackheads. So looking back, a lot of the face washes I used, especially in high school, contain that ingredient. There's a link that I use, and I feel it's pretty accurate. It just kind of breaks down all the different ingredient categories that are in lotions and face washes, and it tells you what it rates. And I'll link that website down below for you guys so you can kind of check for yourselves when you're looking at products. So with benzoyl peroxide, that is more of just a surface treatment for acne. It doesn't actually go into your pores. For me, it just makes my skin really dry, red and itchy and irritated. I can use it on my forehead, but it has to be very sparingly. So I try to avoid it. With salicylic acid, that actually goes into your pores and removes the blemish. For me though, it's also just kind of irritating. I just have super sensitive skin, and I don't feel it's extremely effective at reducing the size or redness of my blemishes, so it's not worth the irritation for me. Moving on, I'm just going to say this really quickly. Don't try tanning to get rid of your acne. It's not worth the risk of skin cancer. That's that. So drugstore face washes, products with benzoyl peroxide, products with salicylic acid, strikes all across the board. So I went to my dermatologist and I was put on doxycycline, which is a prescription antibiotic that has a side effect of clearing up your acne. For me, it wasn't a long-term effect, obviously. My acne did come back when I stopped taking the medication, but it did work. Later in life, I went on it again and I had an allergic reaction to it, so I am staying away from doxycycline from here on out. So now we're at college time, and when I got to college, my face started breaking out a lot more, and I think that is just due to the stress of college and being on your own and blah blah blah. So my pimples went from just being predominantly around my hairline to all over my face. My back and my chest blemishes got much worse. One night in college, I started breaking out all over my chest, and these ones were cystic. There was no head to them. They were just very deep, very red, and very painful. And a couple nights went by and it just kept getting worse, and to this day I have scars from them. And that was so painful and so upsetting that was kind of like the turning point for me. I went back to my dermatologist and we decided that I would go on Accutane. So you guys may know or have heard of Accutane. It's a pretty powerful treatment for acne. To go on Accutane, you have to be on 2 forms of birth control because it can cause major birth defects if you get pregnant. You also have to enroll in this system and answer these questions every month to just sort of reaffirm that you know that you cannot get pregnant on this drug. So I did all of that. You have to do monthly blood tests to make sure you're not pregnant. I don't know why they just didn't do urine tests. There's a reason for it. There's something else they check with the blood test, but you have to do blood tests every month. And then there are a slew of side effects with Accutane. So the side effects obviously will vary from person to person. For me, my side effects, the main ones, were the initial breakout that I experienced. How I like to think of it, it just goes in there and it brings everything that's in there to the surface. So I began breaking out like mad. My sister told me I looked like I had chicken pox. That was really nice. But she was right, it was bad. That took about 4 months to fully clear. At that point, I could see the blemishes were going away, my skin was looking a little better. My skin was very dry though. Actually, everything was very dry. My eyes were dry, so I used Roto eye drops. My lips were very dry. They would crack and bleed terribly. So I used Aquaphor, which you can just get at Walgreens. It's by Eucerin. Overall, my skin was dry, so the KP on my arms got a lot worse. In addition to that, I did experience some depression from the Accutane, which is a side effect not everyone experiences. So all in all, would I do Accutane again? Probably. It was brutal. It was so brutal, but I got 2 years of amazing skin from it. Some people will have amazing skin for the rest of their life. Unfortunately for me, it pooped out after 2 years, but I will tell you what it did. It smoothed out my skin completely. I could no longer see any of my pores. I never broke out. All I had to do was wash my face once in the morning and once at night, and I was fine. Occasionally I would have to hydrate my skin because it would get dry, but other than that, I went to a festival for a weekend, and you know how music festivals are. You don't shower for 3 days, you're sweating for 3 days straight, you have other people sweat on you, you are dirty, and I did not get a single pimple. I kid you not a single pimple. So it was definitely worth it to go through the rest of my college years with clear skin. It definitely made me a lot more confident, and it was worth all of the hell that I went through. I was also on it for a year, by the way. Usually people are on it from 6 months to a year. So anyways, like I said, about 2 years after I got off the Accutane, it kind of pooped out. My skin sort of started to revert back to how it was before Accutane, especially my forehead. My forehead started breaking out really, really badly. And so at that point, I was like, oh gosh, what do I do? It's back. I thought maybe it was from a water deficiency. They have these things called face mapping, where it sort of says if you break out here, it's because of this, here it's because of that. So they say if you break out on your forehead, it could be kidney problems or a lack of water. I don't drink nearly enough water as I should, so I figured that's probably what it is. I started upping my water intake, and my skin felt healthier all around. I felt better, but I didn't notice my acne on my forehead clearing up. So I knew it was something else. That's when I went back on the doxycycline, and I had the allergic reaction, which created a whole nother problem. So that didn't work. So at this point, I knew that I needed to take the initiative to try to clear my skin. So I started doing a lot of research into products, the products that I was putting on my face, and what I could do better. So that is when I learned about the sodium lauryl sulfate and other pore clogging ingredients that are used in a lot of beauty products. For skincare products, I just look at the ingredients on the back, and if there's anything that seems kind of weird to me, sort of artificial to me, I will just look it up, and I can give you guys a really good website. I'll link it in the description box. I'll link it in the description box. It's just a really great website to look up different ingredients and why they're in your products. With skincare products though, I try a lot harder than with my makeup products. So anyways, so I did that, and then I went to my dermatologist again, I was put on spironolactone, which is a diuretic. I'm not really sure what that means other than it makes you pee a lot. There's a side effect and it just helps clear, especially like hormonal acne. And I think that's done wonders on my skin. It's definitely cleared up my back, and it kept my forehead acne at bay. I started getting hormonal acne like around here and my jaw, which I never really got before I became an adult, woohoo. And the spironolactone definitely helps that. I'm also on birth control with less progestin, and that seems to help a lot as well. If there's anything I've learned, it's like your skin is your friend. Don't be at war with it, work with it. I was constantly like poking and scraping and irritating my skin, and it only makes it worse. You definitely want to just love your skin. You want to put good things on it. You want to try to eat well. You want to moisturize it. I have very oily skin, so one of the best things I came across was using face washes with oils in them, like pre-cleansers with oil, because oil attracts oil, likes attract like, likes attract likes. So when you wash your face with oils, it'll just cling to the oil on your skin and it'll wash it away without stripping the natural moisture of your skin. I don't recommend foaming face washes. They can just really dry out your skin. And you want to try to keep your skin as hydrated and moisturized as possible, especially if you have like combination or oily skin, because the more dry your skin is, the more oil it will produce to try to compensate for the lack of moisture. Ever since I basically started treating my oily combination skin like it was dry skin, I produce less oil. So I just keep it moisturized and hydrated, and I put oils and milks and balms on it. Those are the things. I don't use makeup removing cloths, and I don't use foaming face washes. One product I do want to show you and actually talk about a little more in depth are these Tabula Rasa pads, and these are made by Arcona. So Arcona makes this formula in these pads, and then also in, I think it's just like a night cream. Maybe it's a serum. It might be a serum. But I like the pads. They do smell kind of strong, so you don't want to like breathe in heavily. It can be like, but they are so effective. These have completely changed the game for me. If I would have known about these, or I don't even know how long they've been around, but if I would have had these, I would have never gone on Accutane. Like, this is amazing. These have made my skin smoother. They have made my skin more even tone. I used to have like a lot of like red patches and dark patches and dark spots, and my skin is very evenly toned now. I don't really notice my pores as much, and acne is pretty much like at bay. Like, obviously around that time of the month my skin flares up a little bit, but I'm telling you, these things are the bomb. So I'm just gonna read you guys a little bit about them. This is just on the bottom of the container. So it says, spot-specific blemish fighting formula helps combat breakouts and visibly reduces enlarged pores, soothes ingrown hairs and razor burn. Lactic acid, which is awesome, helps to exfoliate, unclog pores, combat skin eruptions, and neutralize bacteria. Grapeseed extract helps promote cell renewal. Naturally antiseptic witch hazel leaves skin visibly cleansed and refreshed. So mostly natural ingredients in this, and lactic acid is something I didn't know if it would work with my skin. Like I said, my skin is sensitive. Salicylic acid can irritate it. Glycolic acid I cannot put on my face. So I was a little nervous to try a product with lactic acid, but it's amazing. Like I said though, we all have different skin types, so lactic acid may not be as effective on your skin as it is on mine. It's just something you have to kind of like be willing to try out or research and figure out if it's right for you. But I highly recommend these. You get 45 of them in here, and it's $30. And to kind of like make them last longer, you can see what I do. Like, so I'll take the pad and I'll use one side of it at night, and then I'll put it, it comes with like this little thing. So I just put it back in there and close it. And then in the morning, I'll use the other side of it. Also, I don't use it morning and night every day. I recommend, like, if you're starting off and you really want to like clear up your face, go for it morning and night. If you don't find it irritating, I don't at all. But now that my face is pretty much clear, I don't need to use them morning and night. So I just sort of like, you know, rotate them in with my skincare routine as needed. But I definitely recommend those. So there's a lot of other great products I would definitely recommend, and in future videos I will definitely talk about them and review things for you guys, but for now I will just mention them below in the description box with links as to where you can find more information about them and where you can purchase them. So again, everything in this video was my opinion, based off experience, based off my research. Please do your own research and please keep your own individual skin in mind. If you guys want to see the makeup look I did today, let me know, leave a comment. This is actually really light compared to most days, and yeah, let me know. So I'll see you guys in my next video. If you liked this, please like it and subscribe. If you have any other questions about skincare or want to share your experiences with acne, just leave me a comment down below and I will check it all out. So thank you guys.